When you log in, the first thing you see is the SAP Fiori Launchpad homepage, often called My Home. This page is organized much like a smartphone home screen, but for your business tasks. It's divided into multiple sections, each containing tiles or information relevant to you. First, you'll see to-dos, which are your pending workflow items and approvals, the tasks needing your immediate attention. Next is news, providing company updates and announcements. You'll also find pages, offering quick links to the various spaces or pages accessible to you. We'll dive deeper into spaces and pages in following lessons. Then comes apps, showcasing applications available or recommended specifically for your role. Lastly, insights displays tiles and cards, mini reports with at-a-glance indicators highlighting real-time data such as open tasks or key performance metrics. You can scroll through My Home to view all these sections. If there are more sections or content than fit on one screen, simple scrolling lets you view other sections, just like scrolling down on a long mobile home screen. The layout follows SAP's Make It Mine approach, meaning you can personalize which sections appear and what content is in them. For now, as a new user, you'll see the default sections set by your organization. SAP Fiori Launchpad is the central homepage for all SAP Fiori apps, and it runs in a web browser or SAP's mobile app and provides a coherent experience across desktop, tablet, and phone. The Launchpad acts as a shell that hosts multiple business applications, giving them common services like navigation and personalization. In practice, this means once you're in the Launchpad, you can seamlessly move between different apps without feeling like you've left a central environment. On the Launchpad homepage, you'll see a collection of rectangular icons called tiles. Each tile represents a business application or dashboard. For example, manage purchase orders or monitor purchase requisitions items. These tiles are interactive. Clicking a tile launches its corresponding app. Much like app icons on your iPhone, iPad home screen, tiles give you one-click access to the tools you need. Often, tiles can also display live information, counts, status indicators at a glance, but primarily they serve as launch points for apps. The Launchpad is role-based, meaning the set of tiles, apps you see is tailored to your role in the organization. A finance manager might see tiles for invoices and reports, while an HR specialist sees tiles for employee records. You won't be distracted by apps you don't use. Only the apps relevant to your job are displayed on your Launchpad, as defined by your user role and permissions. This ensures a clean, focused interface where everything on the screen is there for a reason. Importantly, SAP Fiori Launchpad provides more than just a static menu of apps. It includes common services to enhance your productivity. For example, it offers a unified search to find apps or business data, notifications for your pending tasks, and options to personalize your experience, just as you might rearrange or add apps on a phone. We'll cover these features in detail. In summary, think of the Launchpad as your personalized cockpit for SAP, the one place to go for all your work, designed to be as easy to navigate as the devices you use in daily life. The SAP Fiori Launchpad homepage is organized using a modern concept of spaces and pages, replacing the older groups from earlier Fiori versions. This structure helps keep your apps organized in a logical, scalable way. Let's break down these elements. Let's start with spaces. A space is like a broad category or context, essentially a container of related content. You can think of a space as analogous to a folder on your iPhone home screen or a section on your Mac's Launchpad. In an enterprise scenario, a space often corresponds to a business area or role. For example, you might have spaces named purchasing, sourcing and contracting, inventory processing, and so on, each containing apps relevant to that domain. Spaces segment the launchpad so that when you are focusing on one area of work, you see only the apps for that area. This avoids a one-size-fits-all homepage with too many tiles. Instead, you enter the space that matters for your current task. Then we have pages. Within each space, content is further organized into one or more pages. If a space is a folder, pages are like sections or tabs within that folder. Each page groups apps into coherent collections, often by subtopic or workflow. For instance, the purchasing space might have separate pages for overview, purchase requisition processing, and purchase order processing, supplier evaluation, purchasing rebates, each page showing a different set of tiles related to that topic. Typically, each space has one main page, but it's possible to have multiple pages per space as needed, as you see. Pages make navigation easier by not overwhelming you with too many tiles at once. You can switch pages to see a different subset of apps within the same space. Now let's look at tiles. As introduced, tiles are the visual squares or rectangles on a page that represent individual apps or links. They are the actionable elements you click to launch applications. Tiles often have an icon, a title, and sometimes a number or chart if they show live data. The layout of a page is a grid of tiles and possibly smaller links, usually grouped into sections for readability. Sections are like subgroups within a page, for example, ordering versus insights. Tiles are arranged in these sections to further organize information. For example, on a purchase order processing page, you might have a section for ordering tiles and another for insights tiles. The key point is that tiles are your launch buttons. When you click a tile, you open the app or function it represents. Pages and sections simply help you find the right tile by logically grouping them. The shift from the old single page with groups layout to the new spaces and pages paradigm brings significant usability benefits. It gives you a more structured view of your apps, making it easier to locate what you need without scrolling through one long homepage. Each space focuses on a domain and each page focuses on a subtopic, reducing clutter. This approach also scales well. As new apps are added over time, they can be placed into new or existing spaces pages without overloading one screen. For the end user, the homepage layout now feels more organized and intuitive. It's similar to how Apple's iOS introduced folders and multiple home screens to keep apps organized. SAP Fiori Launchpad uses spaces and pages for the same reason, to keep your work apps logically separated and easy to navigate. When you first log in, you'll typically land on a default space, often a home or whatever space is highest priority for your role, and its main page, showing tiles that have been pre-assigned to you. You can start working with any of those apps immediately. In the next sections, we'll explore how to navigate beyond that initial view, using the shell header for global navigation and switching between spaces pages to see other content. At the very top of the SAP Fiori Launchpad, you'll see the shell header. This is the thin bar that spans the width of the screen. The shell header is like the universal toolbar of the Launchpad, containing several important icons and menus that are always available no matter which app or page you're on. Let's go through the key elements in this header. We have the User Actions menu, User menu. On the right side of the header, you'll find your profile avatar or initials. Clicking this opens the User Actions menu, sometimes called the User menu, and previously known as the Me area in older versions. This menu is your personal hub for things like settings, profile, and other user-specific options. For example, from the user menu, you can access the app finder to browse or add new apps, adjust your display settings or language, or even contact support if enabled. It's also where the sign out option lives. Essentially, anything related to your account and personalization is found here. The User Actions menu ensures that wherever you navigate in the Launchpad, you can always quickly change your personal settings or find additional apps and help without leaving your current context. Then there is Help icon, represented by a question mark icon. The Help feature is built right into the shell header. Clicking the Help icon opens the in-app Help panel. SAP Fiori's Help is context aware. It might show you a guided tour, tutorial videos, or documentation relevant to the screen you're on. This is akin to Apple's context-sensitive Help on macOS, where clicking Help provides documentation for the active application. In SAP Fiori Launchpad, the Help panel, often powered by SAP's Web Assistant, can guide new users through the interface with tooltips or offer a search for further help topics. It's a great first resort if you're not sure how to do something. Just hit the question mark and see if the system can guide you. Next, there is Search, Global Search. The magnifying glass icon in the shell header invokes the global search bar. This isn't just a simple app search. It can be configured to search across apps and business objects like customers, orders, and so on, depending on your SAP system's capabilities. For end users, it means if you can't remember where a particular app is, you can type keywords and the Launchpad will suggest matching applications or even data records. For example, searching purchase order might show you the purchase order app tile as well as recent purchase order records. This enterprise search functionality saves time by letting you jump directly to what you need. It's always at the top, just one click away, which encourages users to quickly find things without manual browsing. And then notifications. Look for the bell icon in the shell header. This opens the notifications panel, which is SAP Fiori's way of alerting you to important items requiring your attention. Notifications might include workflow approvals waiting for you, like approve purchase order 123, alerts such as a threshold exceeded in a report, or any business task pushed to you. When you click the bell, a side panel slides out listing your recent notifications with brief descriptions. From there, you can often click a notification to navigate directly to the relevant app or task. The Launchpad consolidates notifications from various applications into this one place, much like your iPhone shows app notifications all in a single pull-down center. After reviewing or acting on them, you can close the panel, click the bell icon again to return to your work. This feature helps you stay on top of time-sensitive tasks without needing to constantly check each app individually. All these shell header elements, user menu, help, search, and notifications, are designed to to streamline navigation. They are always visible at the top, providing consistent access to personal settings, assistance, global search, and your unified inbox of alerts. As you use the Launchpad, get comfortable with these tools. For instance, if you ever feel lost, clicking your user menu could help orient you. For example, jump to home or find an app. And if you need a hint or run into trouble, the help icon is your friend. The shell header ensures that no matter where you are in SAP Fiori, the essentials, help, search, your account, and notifications are just one click away, very much like how the top status bar on an iPhone always gives you quick access to things like Control Center, Siri, or notifications, keeping you in control of the experience. Getting to your applications in SAP Fiori. Launchpad is straightforward. If you see the tile for the app you want on your current page, simply click the tile and the app will launch. The selected application opens within the Fiori Launchpad shell, usually loading in the same browser tab, with the header still visible at top. This design means you don't jump to a completely separate website or window. Instead, the app feels like a natural extension of the Launchpad. For example, clicking the Manage Purchase Orders tile will open the Purchase Orders application right there with the shell header, home button, search, user menu, and so on. Still around it for easy navigation back to the Launchpad home when needed. Each tile is essentially a button to open an app, making the process as easy as tapping an app icon on your phone. Now, what if the app you need isn't on the current page or space you're viewing? There are several ways to find and launch it. First is using search. As mentioned, you can use the global search at the top to type the name of the app. This is often the fastest way if you know the app's name or keyword. For example, typing Manage Purchase might bring up the Manage Purchase Order app tile, which you can then click to launch. Next is using the App Finder, All Apps. SAP Fiori provides an App Finder tool, which is like an app catalog of all the applications available to you based on your roles. You can access the App Finder via the user menu. The App Finder shows apps that are not yet on your homepage and allows you to launch them or pin them to a page for easier access in the future. It's analogous to the iPhone's app library or an app store, except it's listing apps you already have access to in your organization. For instance, if you're in the purchase space but need an app from the finance area just this once, you could open App Finder to search or browse finance apps and launch it on the fly. This way, even if an app isn't on your personalized pages by default, you're never prevented from finding it when needed. You can also use home navigation or pages. If you suspect the app is in another space page, you can switch to that space page, which we'll cover next, to find its tile. This is useful if you prefer browsing categories rather than searching. For example, you might switch to the purchasing space and then to the supplier evaluation page to find an supplier app tile. Once you click a tile and the app opens, you can interact with the app's content. A common question new users have is, how do I get back to the main Launchpad home or switch to another app after I'm done? There are a couple of easy ways. If the app has a back arrow in the top left, some apps do, depending on navigation context, you can hit that to go back. Otherwise, you can click the home icon, often the SAP logo, or a small house icon on the far left of the shell header to return to the Launchpad homepage. You can also click the space name in the top navigation bar to return to the main page of that space. The experience is designed so that moving in and out of apps doesn't feel jarring. It's more like opening and minimizing apps on a desktop or smartphone. In summary, Launching apps is as easy as point and click on a tile. And with the search and app finder capabilities, you're empowered to access any app you need, even if it's not immediately visible on your current screen. This ensures that the Launchpad truly centralizes all your work apps. You don't need to memorize transaction codes or URLs. Just go to the Launchpad, and from there you can reach everything with a click or a quick search. As you now know, spaces and pages help organize the Launchpad content into meaningful chunks. So how do you navigate between different spaces and pages in practice? The interface makes this easy with a navigation bar or menu at the top of the Launchpad just below the shell header. This top navigation bar lists the names of the spaces that are available to you, usually determined by your role. Switching spaces is as simple as clicking the name of a different space in that menu. For example, imagine you're currently in the home space and you want to go to the default space. At the top, you might see menu items labeled default space, purchasing, sourcing, and contracting, and so on. By clicking default space, the Launchpad will immediately show you the default space. Specifically, it will load the main page of the space. This might display a set of tiles related to default operations. The switch is quick and doesn't require re-login or anything. It's like instantly flipping to a different context or workspace. Now, if a space contains multiple pages, you'll typically see a drop-down indicator next to the space. Clicking that arrow will drop down a menu listing the pages under that space. You can then click on any page in that list to navigate directly to it. For instance, under the accounts payable space, you might have pages like overview, suppliers, supplier invoices, and payments. If you are currently on the overview page but need something on the suppliers page, you would click the arrow by accounts payable in the top bar, select suppliers from the drop down, and the Launchpad will load that page showing the tiles for suppliers tasks. It's very straightforward once you know where to click, the space name itself for the main page, or the arrow to pick a different page. Visually, some Launchpad configurations show the spaces as a horizontal menu across the top, as you see here, while others might use a vertical side panel or drop down, but the concept is the same. The UI will clearly list available spaces and allow page selection within them. You'll also commonly have a space like home or my home, which might be a personal space where you can add your own favorite tiles. Switching back to home is just another click on its name. Remember that the spaces and pages you see are determined by your role and what your administrators have assigned to you. If you change roles or gain new responsibilities, you may see new spaces appear or others removed. But you, as an end user, don't have to configure these. You simply use the provided navigation. The benefit of this model is that at any given time, you're working within a focused set of apps. Need to work on a different area, switch space, and you have a whole new set of relevant apps at your disposal, neatly organized. It's like having multiple desktops on a Mac for different projects. You can switch contexts to get a clutter-free view of just what you need. As you practice, try clicking through the spaces available in your Launchpad. Notice how the page content tiles changes with each space. Also, notice any page drop-downs within those spaces. With just a few clicks, you can traverse your entire realm of applications. This makes navigation very efficient. No more logging in and out of different systems or hunting through mega menus. Your SAP world is divided into intuitive sections spaces, pages that you can enter and exit with a single click. Let's recap the key navigation points we covered to cement your understanding. First, your central home base. SAP Fiori Launchpad is your central entry point for all SAP apps. A role-based homepage with tiles for each application you need. It provides a unified, simple interface so you don't have to jump between disparate systems. Next, spaces and pages organization. Your apps are organized into spaces, broad categories like departments or functional areas, and pages, subsections within those spaces. This two-level structure replaces the old one-page layout and makes it easier to find apps by context. You only see spaces pages relevant to your role, keeping your view uncluttered. Then tiles represent apps. Tiles are the interactive icons on a page that represent applications or reports. Each tile is a one-click launch point for an app. Tiles may show live data, counts, statuses to give you at-a-glance info, and they're grouped into sections on a page for easy scanning. Additionally, shell header navigation. The persistent top bar shell header gives you quick access to global functions. Use the search magnifying glass to find apps or business objects across the system. Check the notifications bell to see tasks and alerts requiring your action. Click the help ? For guided assistance and documentation anytime. And click your user profile, user actions menu for settings, the app finder, and personalization options. Next, launching and switching apps. To open an app, simply click its tile. It will launch within the Launchpad, keeping the header and navigation intact. You can have one or multiple apps open in tabs, depending on configuration, and use the home icon or back arrow to return to the Launchpad home. If you need an app not on your home page, use the search or app finder to locate it quickly. Finally, switching context, spaces pages. When you need to work in a different business area, switch to the corresponding space via the top navigation menu. It's one click to swap in a whole new set of apps, tiles for that domain. If that space has multiple pages, use the drop down next to the space name to jump between pages. This way, you can efficiently navigate across all your work areas without feeling lost. By internalizing these patterns, you'll navigate the SAP Fiori Launchpad with confidence and speed. Most users find that after a little practice, moving around the Launchpad becomes second nature, much like knowing exactly where your favorite app is on your phone's home screen. Apple's philosophy has always been about creating technology that just works. Intuitive, seamless, and centered around the user. In a similar vein, SAP Fiori Launchpad is designed to make enterprise software feel more human-centric and approachable. As you get started with the Launchpad, think of yourself as exploring a new but friendly device. The more you use it, the more familiar it becomes. Just as organizing apps on your iPhone can make you more productive in daily life, mastering your SAP Fiori Launchpad layout can dramatically improve your efficiency at work. Before you move on, take a moment to reflect on what you've learned in this lesson. Ask yourself, which features of the Launchpad do you find most intuitive and why? Perhaps you appreciate the convenience of the search bar or the way spaces and pages declutter your view. How will you use these features in your daily routine? For instance, can you identify a few key apps you'll pin to your home space for quick access? Also, consider if there was anything that felt confusing. What will you explore further or practice again? By reflecting on these questions, you solidify your understanding and identify areas for a bit more practice. Remember, even the most seasoned iPhone user was once a beginner swiping through home screens. Proficiency comes with experience. As you continue with this course, you'll build on this foundation, delving deeper into how SAP Fiori Launchpad can be tailored and utilized to fit your workflow. For now, you've taken the first steps in navigating the Launchpad's interface. Keep that curious, exploratory mindset, just like unboxing a new Apple gadget, and you'll soon feel right at home in SAP Fiori Launchpad's world. Happy exploring!